Y'all, August 11th, Monday. We woke up late again today, but a little less late, so that's a win. And we were nice and cool last night, slept well, and we went and we cooked in the park. We did not eat any out at all, and so we're being healthier and cheaper. And we went on a short walk to start our day. I was watching a podcast with Andrew Huberman, who's a professor of neurology or neuroscience, and he's talked about research that shows getting light into your eyes and moving in the morning is like really important. We went to kind of a different park. I can't remember the name of it at the moment, but it's all part of the Laramie City Parks, and it was neat. They had this like stream running through it that's really clear, and I don't know if there might be even trout in it. They had a little lake that they stock with trout, and we met a cool dog and his owner, and the dog was a big black dog, and he was all wet. I'm assuming he'd been swimming in there. And I ended up going on a short run after that just to log some weekly distance, I guess, and continue adjusting to the altitude. I probably should have done strength and conditioning instead. I did some of that tonight, not a whole lot, but we had a really delicious breakfast. It was canned, like a canned hash. That was cheap, and Nikki put it in the skillet, and I put some butter in the skillet and put tortillas in it, and put the hash in the tortillas, and like kind of crisped the tortilla, and I don't know what you call those, but it was almost like a breakfast chimichanga or something, but it was good. And some crows joined us. We've been hoping to get some crow friends, and this was the closest we'd gotten to it. I put some stuff on my Instagram and Facebook story, and I think maybe on the reel on Instagram, but they came right up to us. One of them at least came to the table right across from us, and I was throwing little bits of food to them, and we ended up throwing them some raw tortilla, or unheated or whatever, and we had about 7 or so, I think, at one point, and one of them brought us a gift. It was like a little piece of rubber. I think we have it. You can't see it. Oh, there you go. A little piece of rubber weather stripping or something. But he came up with it in his mouth and dropped it. I don't know why else he would have done that. So he's probably, you hear about crows doing that. I'm assuming he does that with people in general there. And that was cool. We got some good video and photos, and made a connection with the crows, which is something we want to do. And then this cool thing, though, well, hold that thought. I'll come back to that. We went over to the satellite parking for the university and got on the free bus, and we went to the campus and went and got a coffee at the student union, and the lady was rude, and this is a kind of an interesting topic that we encounter around as we go places. Like, most people here especially are nice. In a lot of places most people are nice, but you get the occasional just rude person for whatever. They're just like, this lady just was like staring at us and not answering our questions, and so that kind of thing. I kind of wrote a whole blog about it today, covering manners and things like that, and business stuff. But anyway, after that we went over to the library, and I did writing, and Nikki got into making stickers on Canva, and she put those on her Redbubble where people can buy them, and she's all excited and like learning about making the stickers. She's gonna make some Halloween and fall themed stickers, and hopefully we can sell those, because I guess that's like real popular right now, is these stickers, and some of them have punny sayings. Like she had a sticker with a picture or a cartoon whale shark, and it said, "Whale, hello there, whale, hello there," and stuff like that. So she's probably going to share a link on her stuff about that. We also used the bathrooms in the library, kind of freshen up a little bit. And am I on the right page? Yeah, I'm looking at my notes. Oh, okay. Yeah, most university libraries are open to the public. I know I've said that before, but in fact, the ones I've talked to, I've called a number of university libraries back in Kansas City and in places we've gone to make sure they're cool with us coming in, and they're always like excited almost about it. In fact, the Wyoming one, I think it is, even advertises themselves as a third place, like for people to hang out other than work and home. And seems like librarians are passionate about making information as accessible as possible. And you know, these libraries have just a wealth of high quality information that most people don't even think about. If you go to the just regular public libraries, usually the book selection is not very, I mean, it's like mostly fiction, and there is some nonfiction, but these university libraries have like the best information out there, and you can just learn about whatever. So you could just basically get yourself multiple degrees for free if you wanted to spend the time to read there. An invaluable resource. Anyway, in my writing, I kind of did an interesting thing. I went through there's this old journal entry I have in there that was from 23, and when I try to sort by date on the journal entries, it always puts that one at the top. And it was interesting to look at, because it was, I'll just kind of touch some highlights. Like, one topic I covered was sleep disruption and my issues with being fatigued a lot, and recovering from things like workouts. And I have, since then, I've started taking magnesium glycinate for sleep, because a guy I know, a friend of ours, suggested that, and it does help my sleep. And I'm glad I said this, because I'm going to remember. I think I might take it. It helps me stay asleep and generally have a more consistent wake time. I haven't been taking it recently due to some gastric disturbances, and the magnesium can affect that. So there's been some research about chronic fatigue syndrome, and I've displayed symptoms of that, or even MS, for years, which I won't go into because some are embarrassing. But the chronic fatigue syndrome, CFS, they've discovered that there is kind of genetic evidence, or somehow, I don't know, understand much about it, but like they can essentially see that you have it, kind of thing, is how I understand it. So it's not just imagined, like, oh, I just feel tired. It's a different thing, a neurological issue. And so that was interesting. That's kind of interesting to connect those two things. I was dealing with being tired, and now it's like, okay, maybe there's a reason. But there's also this other genetic thing called it COMT or something, and there's like two components to this genome. I'm probably saying this totally wrong, but like, it's either slow or fast is what they call it, and you can end up having both be slow. And I seem to kind of be like one of those people that has a slow on both. Like, I have poor response to exercise. I deal with fatigue. I don't recover well from things. I was talking in the old journal about things that I was doing to increase my resiliency, like running, doing strength and conditioning, taking ice baths, saunas, things like that. And I think these things did help me. And with exercise, I'm still figuring out the balance. Like, I still tend to get pretty wiped out at the end of a running training plan. Like I'll oftentimes get sick in the taper phase, like the last week or two of a training plan, which I know that can happen, but it just seems like it happens to me more than most runners. Also, running in the heat seems to really impact me more than other runners of my age and experience level. Like I had a gray out a couple of years ago. My vision just went gray while I was running in hot weather. And so I was hydrated and stuff. I don't know if it was a blood sugar thing or what, but that was kind of interesting to see. I'm still struggling with resiliency and still trying to figure that out. I haven't been able to do the cold and heat therapy as much, but we'll see what comes along. There are some supplements I've been taking too that I think have helped a little. I've started CoQ10, which seems to have helped me, actually. I was going back and forth, oscillating, is that the word, on whether or not to take it. And finally, I just decided I'd seen enough research that it could help, that I'd try it. And I got a cheap bottle of it about 2 weeks ago, maybe a week ago. And immediately, I did notice a difference. And I think I still am noticing the difference. The other thing is creatine monohydrate. And I'm taking that, like, that's been around for a long time. And they've known of its benefits for building muscle and are well established. And it's very safe and very cheap and very thoroughly researched and proven. But now they're realizing it helps the brain also. It helps with preventing dementia and even recovering from traumatic brain stressors and stuff like that. So some scientists out there are just taking it all the time just for that effect. And that's primarily why I'm trying to take it, because the nervous system, benefit, because I've had like these MS type symptoms and fatigue. And the nervous system is interesting. I think it kind of gets overlooked sometimes with exercise. It's obviously, if you think about it, a part of all that. Even lifting weights, like one of the best things you can do for dementia risk reduction is lifting very heavy weights with your legs, like deadlifts and squats, because the nervous system responds to that, and it causes some kind of effect to where the nervous system it flourishes after that kind of a stress on it. I can't remember the word for the good kind of stress, whatever that word is. I can't remember at the moment. So these things are connected, but also it can give you strength. Like I do push-ups occasionally and different strength exercises, and I noticed ever since taking the creatine, I can do more push-ups more easily. And I think it also does help my thinking and my mental acuity and quickness and stuff like that. Let's see what else I might want to say. I was talking about recovery. Oh, one thing I'll touch on briefly. I'm already pretty far in this, but there's something called a championship by biochemistry, and they study top performers like Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Lightning, and they have this situation where when they get in a pinch or a tough situation in a game or whatever, they can change their state essentially at will to where their testosterone will skyrocket and their cortisol will plummet. And usually, supposedly, cortisol goes up when testosterone goes up, but this is a different effect. And that's essentially what causes these people to be so far and above their competition. Tony Robbins actually has this also, and he talks about that in his events. He kind of teaches this. You change your state by using your posture and your movements and your intensity of your voice, and you can get into these empowered states. And that's kind of what he does at his seminars. And we went to a virtual free seminar once and experienced that. And it's just kind of a reminder to maybe utilize that more to help us kind of just energize us to do what we want to do and to recover from things. And another thing in the old journal entry, it talked about me wanting to break free from the 9-to-5 rut and have outdoor adventures and do more writing and do more music, and we're pretty much have done that. So that was cool to see, and we're still working on it, and that was kind of neat. And the last thing, when we were leaving the library to go back to our car and do door dashing, this guy was waiting at the bus stop with us, and we were kind of confused because some buses went by, and I'd forgotten I had the app. I could have checked that, but he explained to us. He's like, "Oh no, this bus will come at this time," and he showed us. Anyway, we got to talking, and it turned out he was a graduate student studying neuroscience, I think it was, and experimenting with animals, and he was like studying tadpoles and like putting, I can't remember exact words and stuff, but like he was somehow like affecting their nervous system and their behavior and studying it. And we got on this just fascinating conversation. I was telling him about the crows and how there was definitely different personalities. You know, some were impulsive, some were just timid, but that one that brought the gift was almost like conscientious. He kind of came up more slowly, and he left the gift, and he kind of more gingerly took some food, and he took a few pieces, and he went and flew off and stored it, stuck it in somewhere we could see. The other guys were just eating it, gobbling it up, or being scared and fighting each other for it. And anyway, he was talking about, how animals have, we're learning more about them. They definitely have these different kind of propensities and personalities that evolution has likely developed to basically help. He's like, if they're all just brash and impulsive, they wouldn't survive. If they're all too timid, they wouldn't survive. So he's like, he was talking about how they had even roles, like social. Crows specifically had social hierarchies and stuff. So, but he was going on to talk about other stuff, how it's hard to get there's limitations on how they can research and stuff, and I guess some of it's probably considered ethical, and like chimpanzees, they're only allowed to do certain things, and so they can't learn as much as they'd like. And there's a person walking in black. I guess it looks like a floating face or something. But sorry, that was just freaky. But anyway, he was talking about how and you can't test people's brain tissues and stuff unless they're dead, and obviously that's an issue. So he said, and we talked about jobs afterwards, and he was like talking about limitations on getting jobs and maybe possibly looking at other countries and stuff. But it was just a really cool conversation. Kind of the point I'm making is you never know who you're sitting next to. This guy could make some huge discovery that could change the world. And we talked to the guy on a bus for like 15 minutes. So anyway, reach out there and get to know people. You never know. You might be sitting next to a million chicken person, or the next big neuroscientist or whatever. So anyway, I've gone along again, longer than last night. So thanks for watching. Bye.